What's up, guys? This is Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to give you guys a very quick update about the markets. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. Anyways, Tesla stock pushed towards this 340 area. I did say maybe it might test that. And I said to watch and see if we get a rejection back down to 335 because Tesla's still range bound. We need to break 347 to be bullish or lose 330 to be more bearish. As of right now, we're still stuck in the middle. But the unfortunate piece of news is that we got a rejection here near 340 and we came back down. And, if we can't get back above 335, which is very close to where our very key 20 EMA happens to be, then we're favoring 330 or below on Tesla. There is a risk of some downside. And if 330 fails us, there could be a bigger downside move because one thing you'll see on Tesla is that we pumped to 346, rejected, 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 rejected. We keep on rejecting, forming a dome. We're just continuing to dip here, and Tesla's showing some weakness. Now, it's not just Tesla, the whole market's coming down to some extent, but it's not too bad, at least so far. We still have hope to bounce because of the big event. So one of the reasons why the market's dipping is because of the Michigan consumer sentiment data. Consumer sentiment is below expectations at 58.6. The 5-year inflationary expectations is at 3.9%. That's above expectations. And then the inflationary expectation, at least for, I believe, August, is at 4.9%. So overall, guys, we're expecting higher inflation 5 years out and many years out. We're still showing signs of weak consumer sentiments, and the market's slowing down as a result. Now, there are lots of option expirations, so there is still some shop in the markets, so be careful with trading options. But at the same time, we have this event taking place around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when we have President Trump and Putin facing off. We're going to see what this ends up leading to. Will this lead to a big move in the markets or not? We'll have to see. But nonetheless, we're just going to follow the price action, at least approaching it. And for now, we do look a bit more bearish. So for Tesla, I do see us testing like 330. If it doesn't hold, we could be dipping towards like 328. And then eventually, this imbalance will take us down towards like 322. So I do see some weakness on Tesla. Please heed my warning. There is weakness for now, so Tesla could be dipping more. For SPY and the QQQ, I think SPY might be dipping towards this trend line. So what SPY is doing is we are just going back and forth between these levels. We need to get above like 644 for there to be some hope for a bounce. Otherwise, I'm favoring 642. I think we test 642 and we'll see if we bounce off this trend line or not. To be bearish, you want to see this trend line fail. You want to see us break through. That's to dip to the lower 640s or below. But I see us testing 642 and we'll see if we bounce or not. So please keep that in mind, especially as time goes on. For the QQQ, we're showing some weakness. So we have support at 577. If that doesn't hold, we could be dipping to 575. We also have resistance at 578, so we're in a range. But the QQQ could be dipping to like 576, and then we'll see if we bounce or not off that. That's very close to where the previous all-time high happened to be, so be very mindful of that. That's going to be very key for how we end up moving. So keep that in mind, guys. That's what we're seeing at least thus far, and we're going to be very patient at least nonetheless. We might dip a little bit more, but then we'll see how it goes after that. For the IWM, we're barely holding 226. We'll see if we bounce off this or not. I do see a risk of some downside, so please keep that in mind, especially as time goes on. And then we'll see if we get some kind of rebound or not, but I do anticipate some downside for now. Watch 226 and then 224, and we'll see if we bounce. For ES, we have support at 64.71 and then 64.50 is next. We'll see if those hold. We're still technically in this channel, so notice that we're just kind of like going back and forth like this. So watch and see 64.15. We'll see if we bounce off this or if we continue to dump. As of right now, we're going to give this the time it needs. For NQ, we have support down here around 23,800. If that fails us, we're looking for 23,719. And we have resistance at 23,858. So this might be dipping a bit more, so give this the time it needs. For Bitcoin, we have a head and shoulders like pattern. We need to get back above 118,000. Otherwise, we're favoring 116,000. There is some downside risk. Tesla could be dipping to 330. We're going to see if it bounces. 330 to 328 could be tested, so be careful. Nvda has to get back above 180. If not, we're favoring 177. So there's a little bit of weakness. Apple was holding up nicely in the morning, but now we're going to see if 230 holds. If not, we could retest 229 flats, and then basically we're going to see if that holds or not. If not, we could be dipping towards like 225. For others, we have like Netflix. It tested 1250 almost. Now it's turning, so it might retest like 1220, and we'll see if it bounces. For AMD, we're dipping right here, so we might be retesting 174, and we're going to see if this holds or not. I do see some downside risk. Coinbase has kind of like a head and shoulders like pattern. We need to get back up of at least 322 to bounce. If we can't, we might be dipping to like 310, if not like 305. Amazon's also rejecting a bit. We need to get back above 232. If not, we could be dipping to like 230 to 228. And then we'll see if we bounce off that, but there could be some downside. Meta has resistance at 796, and we have support right here at 780. So we're still looking decent on Meta. We could be retesting 795 plus. It looks good. Google's looking strong. We could be looking for 208 later on. It's still holding up well so long as we don't lose 202. And Microsoft could be dipping back down to 520. We'll see if it bounces off that. The VIX is also technically on a downtrend, but I want to see if this breaks 15.18 to go higher. If it just rejects, it all depends on what's going to happen later on. For now, okay, the market looks a little bit weaker, so I anticipate some downside. This could drag Tesla down towards like 330, if not 328. So it's rejecting many times, and Tesla has a downside risk. Please keep that in mind, at least for the time being, and we'll go over the levels later on, and I'll give you guys more updates as time goes on. Until then, I wish you all nothing but the best. Take care, guys, and I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. Have a good one, and peace out.